Hello everyone, how you doing? Glad to have you back. If you're new here, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Please remember to subscribe before you check out after watching the video. Remember to also watch other videos that I've shared before. Um, I'm not a new YouTuber per se. I've been doing it since last year, January, but there was a long period of time where I stayed without doing it, and so um, for different particular reasons. And I have videos about that, an update and everything about that on my channel as well. So feel free to go watch whatever it is that will spark your interest. Today, we're going to have a video where I'm going to speak about my tattoos. The reason I want to speak about my tattoos is because I get a lot of questions about why I got the tattoos that I got, why those tattoos precisely. I'm very particular, and for those who know, yeah, so I would like to speak about that so that eventually I can be able to have a place where I can tell people, you want to know something about my tattoos, then you can go to this site or to this link and be able to get a full description of my tattoos, why I got them, where I got them, and what they mean to me. The first tattoo that we are going to talk about is this. It's an equality sign. It's an equality sign. It's just an equal sign, like a mathematical equal sign, and it's basically an equality sign. And it's tiny and not as dark, even though I'll get it redone so that it becomes a bit darker. And as you may or may not know, if you're new here, definitely, probably you do not know, I'm an activist and I'm a feminist and I'm a queer person and an LGBTIQ plus rights person. And so because of that, I believe hugely in equalities of sexes and equality of genders. And because of that, a lot of things that you'll hear about my tattoos will be about equality. Pretty much, I have two, this one and another one, and the rest you'll also get to hear what they mean to me and stuff like that. I first got a tattoo on August of 8th, 2018. At that point I was going through a lot of depression, and by the time I resorted to getting a tattoo, it was because I was in so much emotional pain and I did not know what to do with the emotional pain. So I decided to get a tattoo to see if it can ease the pain I'm feeling emotionally. Put in mind that by the time I was going to get the tattoo, I had lived my whole life really badly wanting tattoos, but really being scared of pain. I've always feared pain and what it makes, the places it takes you, and what it makes you do. And so for me, it was really crazy how I was in so much emotional pain that I figured, because it's, with the thought of tattoos being painful, it was all in my mind. And so I compared the pain I was going through, and I was like, getting a tattoo shouldn't be that hard if I'm going through all this type of emotional pain. And that is another story. If you want to see it, you can go on my channel as well and check out my coming out story, which will shed more light in terms of, you know depression and everything. I'm yet to do a video particularly on dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety and everything, and those will be coming up eventually. But you can go look at my coming out story so that you can be able to know where I was at the time where I was battling depression and everything. And if you're battling depression today, I just want you to know you're not alone. I love you very much, and you can be able to reach out to me either here on YouTube by commenting, and then I'll follow through, comment with your probably IG handle or your Facebook name, and then I can be able to follow through and be that support system that you're looking for. But outside of that, my name on Facebook is Maryliz_Biubo. My name on Facebook is Biubo Maryliz. My handle on Twitter is at queerly_so. So go ahead and follow me so that you can be able to see, you can be able to interact with me. And if you have any question you want to ask, you can be able to ask me from there. The second tattoo that I have is this one here. It can be seen clearly, definitely. And this is a Scorpio, because my sun sign is Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio, born October 23rd, and so that's why I got this. And I know most of the time when I tell people this is a Scorpio, it takes a while before they can recognize it. And I really did the homework of looking to ensure I have the most unique. I like unique things. I like nice, unique things, and so that's how I ended up looking for it. And it came at a time where I had begun creating a lot of interest with my zodiac sign. The reason I started creating interest is because human interaction is not your average easy task, and it's a task that we do in our day-to-day lives. And so for me, the importance of zodiac started becoming apparent when I realized understanding people and their zodiacs, and understanding myself and my zodiac, my rising, my sun, my moon, my all this stuff. If I understand all these things better, then I'll be able to understand why I react to situations the way that I do, how I interact with people, and how to better my interaction skills with people, because I'm not necessarily 100% an extrovert. I'm pretty much introverted, but I also like the idea behind human interaction, because I in my world, assumption is not a word that is used a lot, and so I like meeting people, I like interacting with people, I like talking to people and just speaking their minds on things. And so for me, at the time I was getting this tattoo, it was for two things. I was pretty depressed. I didn't feel anything when I was getting this tattoo, but also I thought, if I'm gonna get a tattoo, despite the fact that I'm depressed, the pain I'm supposed to get from getting a tattoo should deal with me sort of shifting the emotional pain to make it more physical, to make the pain that I'm feeling more physical. But outside of that, to have a tattoo of my zodiac that I won't look at years from now and be like, why did I get it? And then the second tattoo that I'm going to talk about is this one here. And this is an equality sign. It's an equality armband. People always get it differently. We have different types. We have the ones that have two armbands that are the same, and one is tiny, and then we have some that has a bigger one, a medium one, and a smaller one. And then we have different types of armbands, really. But for me, I got the equal sign one. The equal sign one, for me, it was my thinking about it was that no gray areas for me. Equality is something that everyone should be able to experience in their life, and we shouldn't have room for debating whether someone deserves to live their lives the way they live, or someone deserves to do the things that they do and everything. We shouldn't create gray areas around things like that. Being a queer person, being a queer woman myself, you can imagine how much of inequalities I experience as an individual, how much oppression I go through everywhere I go. I'll do a video about something that is going on currently, where I moved to a place with some of my friends, and we've been going through a lot of homophobia, where we've had neighbors complaining just because they saw a rainbow flag in, like, within the premises of the apartment that we're staying in and everything. And it has been back and forth. So you can imagine the kind of oppression we've been going through, even though we ended up resulting to legal counsel and everything. So far, everything is going on okay. But it's something I'll be able to talk about when I'm able to talk about it. But yeah, pretty much the type of evictions which people end up getting, which apparently we ended up getting an eviction, but we were able to negotiate legally to be able to see that and ensure that nobody ever gets to go through the same thing, especially in this area where we are staying currently. And so we have things like that. So you can imagine with the oppression that I go through, not only as a queer person, but also as a woman. We all know the inequalities women face across the world, people who identify as women across the world. We all know the inequalities children go through. We all know the inequalities that school-going girls go through. And so for me, this equality sign, and as I said earlier, I'm an activist and a feminist, it was basically to reflect the kind of work I do, the passion in which I do the work that I do with, and how important it is for me. It's a constant reminder. Every day I wake up and I'm preparing myself and I'm looking at myself in the mirror, then I get to remember that, Mary Liz, you can't fuck this up. This is why you do what you do. So there is that. The third tattoo is I don't know how to show it. Yeah, there you go. So there's this part, and then there's this part. I'll do this. This is the third tattoo. There's a story to it. It's like a splash. It's like a paint splash. And the reason I have it there is because for me, this tattoo means lessons, not mistakes. Prior to that, I had a tattoo here that it was the word equality, and if you scroll through my Instagram and Facebook as well, you should be able to see it. And then here I had a tattoo which I won't speak much about, because that is a rather kind of more intimate part of my story, which you know I'd love to keep to myself, because it doesn't only involve me, it involves other people, and so I'll keep that to myself. But essentially, I had those two tattoos. The one for equality, I resulted to have it covered because it wasn't done to my satisfaction. Yes, the word equality was written there, but it was not to my satisfaction. And so for a period of time, I kept telling myself, when I'm getting a tattoo, I'll come up with an idea that will creatively get rid of this tattoo so that I can be able to get another equality word tattoo that is to my satisfaction. The reason I call it lessons, not mistakes, is because a lot of times when things happen in our lives, we beat ourselves up for it. Sometimes it's not even us who are at fault at things. Sometimes you are at fault and everything. And we beat ourselves up for it so hard that we forget to pick the lessons that come with the experiences that we went through. Even if it's a mistake that you did, you're supposed to pick up the lessons, and you're supposed to just be able to tell yourself, it is what it is. And um, I've learned ABCD, and tomorrow, if something similar happens, then I get to know how to deal with it. And so for me, this is what this tattoo means. Every time I look at it, and you'd notice it's in a very technical place, it's in a place where I can be able to see it all the time. All the time, I feel like I should beat myself up for something. I always look at it, and I remind myself that I'm a better person because of the experiences that I've been through. Some were painful, some were fatal even, but those experiences have taught me to become a better human being to myself. They have taught me to forgive myself more. They've taught me to be kind to myself even more, and for that I appreciate. And so I put a tattoo there to be able to remind myself constantly. It doesn't matter which room I'm in, it doesn't matter the people I'm around with, I'll always use that as a perspective of me that tells people and reminds myself that it is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to feel bad about some things in your life, but what is not okay is for you to carry on the blame over and over and over on yourself, because that kind of derails you unveiling the person that you really are. And so for me, it's actually one of my most important tattoos, and many people look at it and they think it's really cute, but for me it's beyond the cuteness. The idea behind it, most of the time in a painter's world, oftentimes when there's a splash, it's considered a mistake. Very few times do we have it considered as something that was meant to happen. And so for me, every time I look at it, I'm always thinking it shouldn't be a mistake. Something beautiful has been created. All we have to do is look at it from a different perspective. The last tattoo that I want to speak about, and I don't know how I'll show you guys this tattoo. Oh my goodness. That is the tattoo. It's kind of opposite. It's kind of upside down. But yeah, you just have to take it for now. The tattoo reads, "Give me mind gasms by going down on my thoughts." It's very intentional. It's my latest tattoo. Did I get it this year? Yes, I got it this year. I got it together with Teresa Faye. Shout out T. Love you very much. And for me, this tattoo is very important because I'm a huge conversationalist. I love my way of human interaction is conversing with people, talking to people. I never really survive on assumptions. I like going deep into trying to understand people, into talking to them. And the more you want, the only way to understand people is to talk to them, to get to pick their minds on things, to get to understand their perspectives on how they do things and everything. And so for me, this tattoo is basically setting precedent on how I like to do my human interaction. And I only do my human interactions from a point of let's talk, let's chat, let's get to know each other. It's not only on romantic perspectives, it's on general human interaction perspective. That's how I roll, that's how I do my human interactions. And so for me, this tattoo, again, it's in a place that is really open. It's in a place that I can see every day, so that sometimes as a human being you forget, and you begin to feed off of how human beings are made to be. And so for me, this is a reminder that every time I feel like I should judge someone, I should look at this and remember, don't judge them. If you don't know them, you have no right to judge them. And it feeds hugely into equality as well, because then on equality, you need to understand that people are different, and when people are different, that doesn't make them bad people. You should be able to learn a bit more about them. Only then will you know if they're bad people or good people. And bad people are people who do bad things. You can't possibly know someone is bad if you don't get to interact with them, and you don't have a right to call them bad if you've never seen them do anything bad. So that's it on my tattoos. Of course, I'll be getting a lot more tattoos, and be sure when I get more tattoos, I'll come on here and do another video so that I can do an updated version of my tattoos. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, 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 I'm asking you, please subscribe to my channel. It's very important that you do. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, and I'll really appreciate. And always remember to be kind to one another. We all need it during COVID-19 period. So be kind to one another. If you're able to help someone, please help them. It's very necessary. And above all else, also remember to be kind to yourself. The most important thing, if there's one lesson I want you to live with from this tattoo video, is that all the tattoos that have gone onto my body have gone there because of the lessons they come with, the learning that I do constantly as a human being. Every minute that I'm existing, I'm learning, and I appreciate those lessons. And so I'll say the same thing for you. Remember to always learn a new thing. Remember to always, be open to understanding other people, because you'll be amazed at the richness the world has when you try to understand people. Remember to be kind to yourself, and until the next video, be good. Bye.